With great power comes great responsibility, and so it is with retrospectives. We are excited to have come up with a new form of peer-based compensation, but this really only works if everyone takes it seriously and realizes that this can influence somebody's salary. So please act with as much self-awareness and respect and care as possible. And we hope that this allows you to work together in a more fair way and to be truly compensated for the work that you do. So I'm going to show you how retrospectives work and give you some tips on participating in a retrospective. Now, the way that you'll know that you have a retrospective to be a part of is that when you land on your homepage, you'll see that you have a notification waiting for you. The other place that you can see notifications is no matter where you are on the platform, you'll see this note here in the upper right corner telling you that you have a notification. And you can always go to your notifications tab. And here you'll see that there's a retrospective that you need to participate in. And you can click participate. Now, the other way you can always find retrospectives is by going to the dashboard for any work stream. A retrospective occurs when 2,000 credits worth of work has been completed, and all of this work is rolled up into a retrospective. In the dashboard on the far right, you can see all of the current items, and then you can see the former retrospectives. And you can open the retrospective either from your notifications or from the dashboard. As you're participating in a retrospective, keep in mind that this is at least 2,000 credits worth of work rolled up together. So even if you just participated in one item, you're casting your vote for this whole group of work. So up here at the top, you can see the total amount of credits that this retrospective is worth. Ultimately, the final distribution will be across this amount. So keep that in mind as you're looking at the different information. Now, the objective is to find out what percentage each person contributed and casting this vote to the best of your ability. So in a retrospective, we provide you with a lot of different information. On the right, you have the contribution breakdown, and this is just a bar chart that shows you who provided how many ideas, votes, and comments. So this is one source of information for you. Another useful source of information are these pie charts on the right. Now, the credits pie chart breaks down the credits, just distributing them equally among all of the people that participated in any of the items. So the reason that we have these retrospectives is to get a more accurate depiction, but this just gives you a sense of who completed what items. Now, the ideas pie chart is very simply who proposed the ideas and what percentage of the ideas in this particular retrospective were proposed by each person. Now, the comments pie chart is merely the number of comments that each person contributed. It's not necessarily about quantity here, but more so about the quality of the comments. So be sure to dive in deeper to find out who really provided substantive comments. And lastly, we have the votes. And this is just what percentage each person contributed in terms of the votes, who's been driving this work forward. Now, really where you can gather more information is by diving into each of the items. Over here, you can see the name of the item, who created it, owned it, who was part of the team, and very importantly, how many credits it was worth, because again, you want to allocate the percentage based on the credits completed. So hopefully, you not only have this useful overview information, however, you can open up a lightbox that dives deeper into each item. And you can look at the history of who attached what, who was commenting, and all of the history of an item. So you can really get a sense of who contributed what. So only once you have gathered all of your information should you cast your vote. You can use these sliders to indicate what percentage you think each person contributed. Now, I personally look through each of the items and calculate how many credits I think each person contributed, and then I divide that by the total number of credits in the retrospective in order to get the accurate percentage. Now, that's just how I do it. Other people may have different methods for coming to their conclusion, but just keep in mind that it's very important that you carefully vote and think about this, because in the case of BetterMeans, this is our compensation. This is how people are paid for the work that they do. And other projects may use it in the same way. So please be careful in your votes. And of course, you always have this option down here of the confidence scale. And if you're really not quite sure about your vote, you can use this confidence scale. And this means that if you're less confident in your vote, it will not be counted as much in the final distribution. But you also, if you're way off, you won't be as hit in the assessment accuracy, which I'll explain in a moment. But this is important because if you're not sure, you don't want to be casting an uninformed vote. And also remember, if you really have no idea and maybe you just voted on one item, but you're part of this retrospective, it's okay not to vote. You don't have to participate in a retrospective. Or if you really want to participate, you can always set your confidence scale at very low so that your voice is heard, but is maybe not overpowering the people who know more closely who did what. So once you have indicated the percentages and set your confidence scale, you can cast your vote. After 3 days have passed, the retrospective ends, and you will receive another notification that the retrospective has ended, and you can see the results of that retrospective. Now, in understanding these results, you can see the column farthest to the left is your assessment. This is the vote that you cast. Now, the team's assessment, this middle column, is the average of what everyone else gave you. And then the final distribution is the team's assessment distributed across 100%. And this is the final distribution of the credits and the result of the retrospective. Now, also for this retrospective, you have the accuracy. And this accuracy is an indication of how well you rated yourself and others. Now, in this case, I underrated myself 8%, and I either under or overrated others by 22%. Now, this is just the accuracy for this one retrospective, but after participating in a whole bunch of retrospectives, each accuracy score is aggregated so that you have a self-assessment accuracy for this work stream and also for the platform overall. And you can see this by clicking on any person's name, which takes you to their public profile. And in their public profile is their assessment accuracy, which shows you how well they are at rating themselves and others, both in individual work streams and across the whole platform. This is a helpful tool so that when you're considering working with other people, you can see how safe of a partner are they, how well do they assess themselves and others. So we offer these tools with the retrospectives and the assessment accuracy so that you can truly work together as a team and have peer-based compensation, which we believe is a more fair form of compensation for all of the hard work that we all do.